Hey, MCE crew, this is the new normal. We're not going back to normal. The global economy is what it is. We're not going back to a pre-2020 environment. Prices for everything under the sun are going to continue to increase. They're never going to decrease, okay? They're going to continue to increase. Now, the question is, will they increase at a prodigious clip or at a slower pace? Now, once inflation levels off, sure. Okay, we'll see some moderation in the increase of prices, but they're going to continue to increase because of where we are in the world. The other day, I almost had a very serious car accident. Guy pulled out in front of me for some strange reason. He tried to make a left-hand turn into an oncoming lane. I don't know what he was thinking. In any event, I slammed on my brakes, and inertia took everything that wasn't buckled in, and I was about the only thing buckled in. Inertia took everything that wasn't buckled in from the back of the car to the front of the car. Now, thank God, we didn't get into an accident. I was happy about that. The guy actually pulled over and said, hey, what happened? I said, well, you tell me. It was very cordial. We were both pretty happy that we didn't get into an accident. But I did have to slam on brakes, and that's exactly what governors here in the United States did. That's exactly what world leaders in other parts of in other countries did. They slammed the brakes onto a multi-trillion-dollar annual economy, and it totally has ruined the economy. Okay, we're in all new territory. So this is the new normal. Let's talk about some aspects of that new normal. Number one, control. They want obedience, okay? And the only way that you can steer clear of being a serf is to be financially independent. And you can do that, okay? But let's get into some of this. And look, let's never forget, I want to put this out there. Here in Maryland, our governor, our current governor, Larry Hogan, you're going to hear that name a lot because this guy has the audacity. He wants to be president of the United States of America. So you're going to hear his name no matter where you live. Don't let him fool you. He's a so-called Republican, but he is responsible for a lot of the economic turmoil in this nation today because he shut down Maryland's economy. All right. So when he comes talking about how, he did this and he did that, don't let him fool you. He didn't do anything here in Maryland because we've got a blue Democrat legislature, and almost everything this governor tried to do, they put the calabash on in terms of a veto. The man didn't speak up for Second Amendment rights ever in his tenure. In fact, he let red flag laws get through. So you're going to hear a lot about Larry Hogan, but he's one of those governors that is part and parcel of the destruction of our economy in this new environment that we're in. So don't forget the name, and make sure you do your research. I'm not casting a vote for him for anything. Okay, President of the United States of America. I wouldn't vote for him for president of my community association. All right. So anyway, let's get into where we're going. Some of the dark designs that the powers that be have for us and our personal economies as we move forward into the 21st century. Hey, MCE crew, let's start out with the baby formula crisis. Now, if I told you that a country was receiving food aid, a country had its currency being, devalued day after day after day, losing value constantly at the rate of 1% a month. This country had, lackluster leadership, a growing crime problem. You would probably say, sounds a lot like a developing nation, but actually I'm describing the United States of America. As you know, we do have an issue with being able to produce a sufficient amount of baby formula to feed American infants. We just received aid from India. Yes, the United States has received food aid from India. 39 tons of baby formula to help us with this crisis. And that's kind of weird because we've been sending baby formula to Ukraine. So, I'm a charitable guy, but I'm certainly not going to give you my last dollar if I'm in need of food and sustenance. It's weird, to say the least. We'll leave it there. Now, why are we here? Well, one of the reasons is because the United States has set up a scenario, and this goes back decades, whereby we've put the American baby food manufacturers in a advantageous position over and above foreign manufacturers of baby formula. What we do is we place tariffs, some pretty stiff tariffs of approaching 20% tariffs or taxes on foreign baby food imports or baby formula imports. So it really doesn't lend itself to parents, buying food that's not produced here. Now the problem came in when Abbott Labs had an issue. The FDA recalled some baby food formula, and that started to show cracks in the system. And when their plant was taken offline for a little while, here we are. Okay, so I'm not sure if there's a way that we can start to. Maybe this is a market. Okay, I don't know. Maybe there's a market out there that maybe you can serve if you're thinking about a business idea to produce these types of products. Now, maybe you won't be looking at becoming a national provider, but maybe there's a niche market, especially now that the system has been disrupted and people are more sensitive to, hey, I don't want to be in this position, but I do want my child to be able to get good nutrition. So that's where we're at. It's a sad commentary. Now, I understand why we put those tariffs on to advantage American businesses, but it just seems like hasn't been enough in the way of manufacturers to address the entire need. And then there's the other thing of us giving away baby food to Ukraine, which again, yeah, that's fine in the best of times, but we literally can't afford to do that right now. Look, Biden has said on his trip to Asia that he will respond militarily. And that's a euphemism for attack. I mean, what are you going to do? Your military is not sending flowers. So Biden says he'll respond militarily if China attacks Taiwan. And then, once again, this is the second time he's done this, the White House has come in and walked that back. So Biden shoots his mouth off. He doesn't really know what he's talking about, apparently. And this is the danger of having a president, a commander-in-chief, who is not in total command of his mental faculties. While on a visit to Japan to meet the Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, President Joe Biden said that American troops would defend Taiwan if it came under attack from China. Quote, "You didn't want to get involved in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?" Now, that's what a reporter is quoted as asking Biden during a news conference. Biden responds, yes. To the somewhat incredulous reporter, upon hearing blunt and perhaps unexpected answers in the affirmative, pressed, "You are?" "That's the commitment we made," the president said. However, it remains entirely unknown and unclear what commitment the president is talking about, given there's currently no mutual defense treaty between the U.S. and Taiwan. President Carter, this goes back like almost 50 years, President Carter terminated the historic mutual defense treaty with Taiwan. Is President Biden confused? Well, when isn't he confused? Is his mind going back to pre-1979? Well, it's a good chance that these misstatements by the president will result in us being dragged into some sort of conflict. This is why the previous video we did talked about the defense contractors and how that might be a good play, because this old fool seems like he's going to drag us into World War III, whether we like it or not. So then the White House quickly scrambled to try to walk back the president's clear affirmation that he would send U.S. military forces against nuclear-armed superpower, China, in the event of China invading Taiwan. Uh, the White House, now think about this. We're saying the White House as if it's a separate entity from the president. So the White House issued a statement saying that U.S. policy has not changed. Okay, so you got two entities here. You got Joe Biden, the president, and you got the White House making two conflicting statements about a conflict, potential conflict with a nuclear-powered nation. That should concern you. And this is one of the reasons why, if you think these things don't affect the stock market, you're wrong, and the economy. Because back during George H.W. Bush's presidency, not the son, the father, he made a statement about, he just made an offhanded comment about the fact that he didn't like broccoli, sent the broccoli market into turmoil, okay? He had to come out and say, well, it's not actually that bad. My mom used to make it, and she had some good recipes. He had to do that. Okay, Oprah Winfrey, she made comments about the fact that she didn't prefer to eat beef. Now, this is not even a politician. This is just someone with influence, whether you like her or not. She's got a lot of influence. And she had even more back then when she made the statement. She made a comment about beef, and, that threw the beef market into a little bit of turmoil. And the beef farmers had to come out, and then Oprah walked it back a little bit. But we've got a president making comments and then his staff contradicting him. That's huge. Okay. So, as the president said, our policy has not changed, the White House spokesperson said. But that's not what he said. And then, they try to, don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain type of thing. He said the exact opposite. You were in the room. So that's where we are with regard to our esteemed leader of the free world. All right, so how do you play this? Well, you gotta, we've got 2 more years of this at least. And look, even if tomorrow the president of the United States said, you know what, I'm done. I just can't do this job anymore. I'm going to retire to my home in Delaware and just, put a shawl over my lap and sit in a rocking chair on my porch and enjoy my grandkids. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So even if he did that, it's not like the vice president is, capable of understanding these complex global issues. I mean, she probably heard what Joe said and started laughing. Let's just be real. And then let's suppose she came out and said, you know what, this job is beyond me. I'm going to just go back to being an attorney, and maybe I'll write a book and make some speeches and, just enjoy my money. Well, guess who's up next?
This is not it. What may come as news to someone is that, when you subtract money, money is subtracted.
Okay, so 2 more years of this at least before we can make changes and get some adults back in the room and get some stability. Back in the nation in terms of leadership. I think that's going to happen, because if it doesn't, then, hold on to your butts. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon.